Good day, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. Today we have with us Arif Malik. He came to Canada in 2010 and since then has been involved in a lot of contracting, management, consulting, and he'll talk more about it himself as well. So without having me to introduce him any further, we'll get started. So Arif, if you can tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So first of all, I would like to thank you for all these initiatives. This is really a very good way back to the society and our community. Guys, so I am Arif Malik and I actually coming from a telecom background. I started my career with Mobilink, that is the tier one operator within Pakistan, having like 50 million subscribers. So first initial 8 years with Mobilink, working as a like BI data warehousing manager, shifted towards like Vari Telecom. Again, another 5 years on the in the BI data warehousing space, but actually reporting to the CFO and then heading some couple of departments. So when I decided to move to like Canada, it was not an easy decision because leaving the family behind and like 15 years work. But then actually the one liner objective was to come to Canada and work to diligently to get a passport. So I migrated in 2010 and with a lot of hopes, but initial few months were quite devastating. I was not able to find or secure the full-time position I was applying, and first few months were very challenging. Even my all savings exhausted, and I was left with $500 in my cash in my pocket. So at that specific time, I thought that there is something missing, so I should start looking for an odd job and went towards some couple of interviews and also secured my first breakthrough was as a security guard. But then at that specific time, I just got broke and said that this was the objective that I was in Canada. But having said that, at the same time, I reached out to like a couple of my friends. One of my friend actually helped me in connecting to a recruiter who emphasized that there should be a shift in my thought process where I should start exploring some contracting work. So he explained me what are the pros and cons of being a contractor within this market and how this contractor work is being very much spotted within the Canada. And with his blessings, I was able to secure my first contract within TELUS and in 2010. And that was the first breakthrough, and that actually helped me in securing multiple contracts. From 2010 to 2016, I was doing some different contract works within telecom, in TELUS, Rogers, Bell, excuse me, Cogeco, etc. And during this process, I did actually thought that if since I not have to take a shift towards like contracting world, I need to emphasize more on my personal and career or technical development as well. So one development was more from a functional side where I was like doing some couple of things in big programs, managing projects back home, but real I was not an IT kind of a guy. So I enhanced my knowledge towards business analysis, project management, user acceptance testing, what I never knew back in home actually. So on the other hand, from a tool perspective, because I was trying to sell myself more in the BI data warehousing uh, projects. So it enhanced my knowledge towards like BI applications like Cognos and MicroStrategy and SAS, and from a database perspective from Oracle, like Microsoft, etc. So this helped me in creating my own niche within the industry. That I was involved in pretty big projects in data warehouse migrations within Rogers and other telecom operators, right? Then in 2006, there was some 2 or 3 months bad time where I was unemployed, and that actually helped me enhancing more on my own skill set. And then with the virtue of one of my friend, I was able to secure a job in Ernst and Young (EY). So now there was a shift from contracting world to like a management consultant, and that 2 years was like one of the best things that have happened to me. Transformation not only from a contracting to the management concerns, but at least like working with like some real big gurus in the globally, and working on some big initiatives from EY perspective. And then that actually transformed my personality, my skill set, my thought process, my decision making, problem solving approach. Then there was a shift from EY to Capgemini. So now shift is like from management consultant to the technology consultant, and actually worked on like a couple of heavy projects where transformation from like digital transformation initiatives were there, and migration of data warehouses into cloud was there. So that actually helped me enhancing my experience towards more on the technology aspect.
Very interesting. With your experience with management consulting, how did you you talked about you made an entry point. How did you find a difference between contracting and management consulting?
Contracting is good. You are contracted for a short-term project within like one of the of your client, and you are doing it. From a management consultant, you need to be best of the best actually. So first of all, there are a lot of when you are a management consultant, there is a lot of liability on your side to go to the client and give them the best big four kind of advice or the recommendation. So before you go and release it to that in client, I think there is a discipline involved in getting approvals. For example, if we are reporting something, we are doing. I was more in the financial advisory, so my responsibility was to go through their financials, review them, and cross match with their GLs and like other, or financial system like ERP solutions. So if we have to make a recommendation, there is a gap in financials. So of course, it has to internally we had to go some through process, quality controls and checks as well. So I think we were more flexible in managing the client, but it was more from an internal perspective. It was very demanding that going through that rigorous process, getting approvals from a quality perspective, from a risk management perspective. But that actually really helped you. Actually, that helped in enhancing that you need to be very detailed about your approach and what the way you actually progress.
That's Thank you so much for that. And just one last question that I have for you, and I think you've already touched upon a lot of those things already. But what is the kind of mindset that anybody who's coming into Canada, what is the mindset that they should be working on? How should they be approaching things to be able to make the most of their journey here in Canada?
Absolutely. So there are a couple of things. What I approached to was like I will come. I will answer your question in three different scenarios. For the first scenario is like you need to have one liner objective. For example, when I was in Pakistan, the one liner objective was to come to Canada. When I was in Canada, the objective was to secure a job. When I secured the job, then it was more from like now I have to be at a senior level in like one of the big four. So you would actually try to have a good vision actually and work on diligently on that vision, and then on that vision just define what might be the task or what might be the roadmap, how you can reach it. That is one thing. Second thing is like you really need to enhance yourself, understand, evaluate the market dynamics, and try to work on your development side, maybe from a business side, maybe as I mentioned that it enhanced my business analysis, user acceptance that it was never there, or maybe from a technology stack. Now, for example, Power BI is nowadays there's a Power BI and there is like Tableau, or maybe from a digital transformation, or maybe AI or ML initiatives. So we need to understand what are the market opportunities right now, and am I able to sell myself accordingly. Last but not the least, there are two approaches. One is like I always work on like three C's. One is the change, the second is the commitment, and third is the contentment. So always looking for change. That is really helps me. I'm more committed towards my work. So I start my work like 1 hour before 8 in the morning, work till 6 p.m. Rather, I'm not asking for the overtime, but that gives more responsibility towards my work, and my employers are always happy for that, and they're going an extra effort on that. There are 5 Ds that I also cover. Is one is the direction, that is the goal you have defined. The other is your determination. Then there is a dedication towards my work, and then of course the discipline. You need to work in a discipline mode. So that is like a couple of things I've just followed and got. I've been really blessed that Allah Subhanahu wa Taala has helped me in progressing in this Canada. At the same time, I'm transformed myself from a full-time resource to the contractor to like management and the technological consultant. And I think still some good things have to happen in a couple of years.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Arif, for sharing your journey this day to day. And I hope folks who watch this will be able to take away something and will be able to apply that into their own career. So thank you so much for doing this.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.